Yes, yes, yes. Actually, we have some good news today on the weight front. Um, I broke through 270 for this week. So down 36 pounds, started 305, now 269. And so we've made the breakthrough today, this week. Um, well, this is a short week, a trading week, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about is we're going to have some time to do some homework and preparation and think. So I thought I'd give you the kinds of things that you want to study over the holidays and think about, okay? So the question is, what do you really need to know to win at this day trading game? What do you really need to know? And so day trading, the game of day trading is real simple. I mean, not simple, it's complicated, but you can simplify it. It's a game of entries and exits. It's a game of proper trade money management. It's a game of having to take the right risk based on your account size. It's a game of mastery of your emotions, identifying patterns, and that's not just price patterns. It can be volume patterns. It can be, general patterns that you see in the marketplace. It's a game of patience and discipline to wait for your rules to be met. It's a game of courage. It's a game of courage to act when all the rules that you have set for yourself, when they actually show up. So it's that. It's also a game of mental strength, being able to bounce back after you have a loss. So, one of the things that I said is, let me just identify a few things that you might want to look at. Your trading philosophy, I consider to be one of the most important things that you establish for yourself based on your personality, based on your knowledge. So that's the very first thing. And so what I mean by trading philosophy is you can be a scalper. If you're a scalper, you're generally going to be looking at things like whether it can be a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 15 minute, a 60 minute kind of chart. If you're holding longer for intraday runs, you might be a 15-minute, 60-minute daily chart kind of a person. You need to determine which one of these two you are. That's the very first thing you need to do, because they require different kinds of thinking, different pattern recognition skills, different ways to approach the market. So it's real important to make sure you know which one you are. Because if you're waiting for too much confirmation and you're a scalper, my goodness, you're gonna, the move will be over before you even get started. And so it'll come right back against you. Now, the other thing you need to know as you're going through the process is you need to understand key support and resistance zones for your methodology. So you want to make sure that you're trading in a support and resistance zones that are compatible with the methodology that you're using. So, for example, if you're a scalper, you may only need 3 points of resistance if you're only going to go get, 5 or 6 ticks. But if you're going to do a longer run where you're looking to get 5 or 6 points, you may need to make sure you understand what those longer term, support and resistance levels are. So, and that's going to be part of the homework that you do. Now, you also need to know how to identify points, turning points during an intraday basis. So what you're going to be looking at is looking at various kinds of price patterns, various volume patterns, and proper timing. So you're going to look at these kinds of things. So I suggest that you take the time to go over your charts and look and say, okay, what's happening? Why is this? It seems like this pattern works, whether it be a double top or head and shoulders or double bottoms or inverted head and shoulders, whatever the case is. So you'll know what that is, and then various volume patterns, so that you'll say, okay, I noticed that this is strong, strong in one direction, then it's light in this direction. So you identify the volume patterns and timing and cycles and things like that. So now, the other thing that you need to have on an intraday basis as you're trading is you need to have some rules that confirm the proper direction that you should be trading. So, for example, if you have a key resistance level as being where this is right here, you may say that one or two, two or three ticks, 4 ticks is what I'm going to use to identify that it's going in this direction, and 4 ticks identifying there. And then you use the 2 to 3 ticks here as just noise, that you don't rush and take an immediate reaction and start jumping into trades. So have some rules that identify based on your key resistance zone. And remember, it's not just a line, it's a little zone. So you've got to give yourself some room on the top and room on the bottom to basically identify which direction you're going to go in. So you have to determine that for yourself based on your methodology. Now it's different, and this is where we talk about you have to get correct knowledge. So hopefully the person that you're following, your mentor, the mentors are giving you the correct information for the methodology that you're using. Okay? Now, you also need a way for you to identify the potential reward versus risk for that particular trade that you're looking to enter in. Because in the final analysis, you can have a great entry, but you got to have the right reward to risk ratio in order to play the game and stay in the game. Okay, because you need to make enough money when you're correct, so that when you do lose money, and you're going to lose money, let's make sure you get that real clear. You're going to, no matter whose methodology you're using, you're going to lose money. You should be losing 30% of the time, at least. So just be prepared to understand that you're going to be losing money, 25, 30% of the time. So that means that when you lose money, you want to make sure it's small, so that when you make some money compared to the methodology that you're using. Now, you also need to know how to identify a failed pattern, whether you have some time limitations, whether you have a price pattern limitation, a reversal price pattern limitation, or whether you have a break of a key line. So you got to have ways for you to determine whether or not your particular pattern has failed. Now, the reason that's important is because let's assume you identify that it's failed. Well, and you see that it's failed, and you're about 6 ticks down for a loss. Well, get out. Don't sit there and hold on and let the loss go to 12 ticks. If you see that something happened that you identified that it's a failed pattern, get out. Minimize your loss at that moment in time. Just use your common sense and just say, okay, this isn't working. Get out. Okay. Now, you must also have a sense of how long it takes for your particular pattern to complete. A lot of times people get into trades and then they don't understand that they are, it might take 15 minutes or an hour for the whole pattern to complete. That means you need to ride that out. So you got to have some courage and guts to ride that out. But you first got to find out how long it takes. You need a way for you to understand volatility and how to adjust. We talked about that in the previous video. But basically you need to know that. You need to have a way of tracking what's happening to your instrument on a longer time frame so that you have that bigger picture in mind. So you want to make sure that you have the big picture in mind so that you can make your trades and your analysis and daily analysis within the context of the main picture. Understand that it is a game of probability. It is simply a game of probabilities. That's what the game is. Okay? Now, you have to know what your complete edge is. So in trading, what is your complete edge? You need to prepare with the correct knowledge. You need to have a statistical edge on the methodology that you're using. And you also have to know how to read the market as it unfolds. So make sure you take some time to go through that. And finally, how you're going to react emotionally when your money's on the line. That's what you need to do. So I want you to take time during this holiday week here to go through these things, study them on your charts, and make sure that you are mentally prepared and ready to tackle the marketplace as we come back from the holidays. So once again, let's just wish you here in America and all around the world, I wish you the best of, happy Thanksgiving, happy, be thankful for the things that you've got in life, and, be sure to help other people along the way. Thank you very much, and have a great week this week, and enjoy next week. Thank you.